Hey everyone, welcome back. So glad to hear you, see you, listening in with us today. How was your weekend, Sarah?
So good. So my husband's been working me out in the gym, so that's where we spent our date night this weekend.
Oh wow, awesome. And yeah, Donnie started with me this week, and my God, it's been awesome. He really knows what he's doing. So exciting, right? And I
Love
love
it.
that I love that he's online, which is kind of what we're talking about today and pivoting, right? With the world now that we live in, this is the year of pivoting and everything's going online, which is so awesome that I can work it with your husband literally across the country through a webcam.
I know. It's
Crazy.
amazing. So amazing. Well, that's like us too, right? Like you're on the other side of the country and we're business partners.
Yeah, it's
Isn't
not.
it beautiful though?
It is. It's so funny that people sometimes think everything moving online is a bad thing,
I know. Like really.
but it's so not.
I know.
It's
It's
not.
you know what it is though? It is people are afraid of change.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right? But our ancestors dreamed of a time like this, to live in an era like this where we do have everything at our fingertips, that it wasn't so hard. But we got comfortable and we got lazy.
Absolutely. And today, like what we're going to talk about is really just that, right? When people, especially not so much even this year, but the middle of last year is when you've seen a big shift of people pivoting in
Yep.
what they were doing to do something different because for the sole fact that they were forced to with the
So
way that the world is.
so with the way the world is right now, you see a lot of small businesses going out of business, but you also see a lot of small businesses thriving. Like let's take the restaurant industry, okay? Most people would think of the restaurant industry as the first to go out of business. But look like the keg. The keg created a delivery service. They gave you all of the ingredients that you need to make their meal from the comfort of your home,
Mm-hmm.
right? Uber Eats. Like you see more people now delivering. Grocery stores, right? Like gone are the days where you went in with your list, you just order online, you park your car and somebody puts it in your trunk for you.
Right. And it's so funny that you say that too, because we have a small Chinese store uptown in our village. And it's just small. There's maybe 10 tables in there, but that was majority of his service and business was in store. Well, when all this happened, he can only do takeout. He is so busy now. I honestly don't think he'll ever reopen as a sit down restaurant because I mean, he got rid of so much cost in doing that too. Like he doesn't have to pay a server. He doesn't have to, do all those kinds of things. He doesn't have to stock beer because he used to serve beer.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, like if you don't call now by like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, he's sold out of food every single day.
Isn't it amazing? And the what I've noticed, because the industry that we work in, so we're coaches and we help people in their lives, and we talk to a lot of people. And you know what I noticed the most is that when there's such a drastic change that is happening right now, we always think negative about it. But did you not have more time with your family? Did you not have less time being on the road? Were there not less car accidents and less emissions in the air? Were you able to work from home and be comfortable and have the time to do that extra laundry that everybody complains about, or clean your house, to be more present with your children? Like that's the way the world is moving now. It's giving you more time freedom. And Kaily and I, we started this new business. Be sure to check out our episode on Thursday because we're going to explain it all to you. But after doing some research, 27% of people are willing to take a pay cut just to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
right? So then, bam, pandemic comes. You have that opportunity to work from home. A lot of people didn't take a pay cut. Some people, unfortunately, did lose their jobs. But now there's even more. 80% of businesses have moved to the online world.
Yeah, and talking about that, like I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. Like not the way we want necessarily, but to make us slow down and analyze like what is it that I'm really doing and should I be doing it? Like you giving yourself all the questions. And I actually got a lot of slack from a live video that I did on my Facebook when the pandemic started. So I was on mat leave and I did a video and I was like, everyone's, going through raising hell right now, saying, it's shit that the way this is going on. And because I've been in mindset work and like dove right into it, I was like, really? Like, you would have never slowed down to spend time with your family. You would have never seen your kids. You like some yes, it's such a touchy subject, but yes, kids are sort of speak suffering because they're not seeing their friends at school. But at the same time, they never saw you
Yeah.
being their parent,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, all things happen for a reason. I shouldn't say I think. I know this is the new age. Like we never go backwards. So everything that's happened is creating new normals, and this is the way of the future. So um pivoting is what everybody is doing this year because we were pushed out of our comfort zone with something that happened to open our eyes to think this is the way things are starting to be. This is what's going to happen. And now we just have to make the decision and the choices for ourselves. What do we want our future to look like? Because everything's in our hand.
You know what? It's so funny. Like, I remember getting Facebook in like what 2009 when Facebook first came out, and I remember talking to my dad about it. And they're old school. Like he never had a debit card. Like always had cash. Like that's how he grew up. So even debit was new to him. And I remember I'm like, you should get Facebook. I will never get Facebook. Don't put that on Facebook. Why did you put that on Facebook? Why did you put that for the world to see? And now here I am. I share everything with the world to see because it's my platform to tell my story. And now here he is, probably my biggest fan, watches all my stories, checks out all my videos, and yet he said he'd never go on Facebook.
Yeah, and that's same with my mom.
Yep.
When we were on that after school and on the computer, she's like, I will never do that.
Yeah.
And now she doesn't get off of it.
I remember my first memory of computers was in grade 1 where we would go to typing class, right?
Yeah.
You had to type and it was like the fox runs down the red road or whatever, and you had to learn how to type it out. And I was like, this is never going to take off. I'm never going to use a computer. Well then, would have known that we would have grown multi-million-dollar businesses online.
Isn't that crazy? It really is. So today we were going to, talk about the word pivoting and how a lot of people think that it's a dirty word. Like when you think of the word pivot, when somebody or whatever, when the word pivot comes to mind, what do you think of?
Failure. I think I failed. I got to try again.
I got to start over.
Yep, starting over.
Yeah. And that's not what it is. Like
not at all.
You and I, Sarah, how many times have we pivoted in just the last 6 months?
6 weeks.
Right?
And we're always pivoting. The story and the message always changes. The idea and the image always change.
Exactly. And pivoting is just exactly that. It's not where something happens and you think, okay, I gotta pivot, I gotta switch this. It's not where you're like back to diapers and you're starting at square one. You're starting where you are and you're pivoting to where you're going.
Exactly.
Yep. Right? It's not like you get knocked down and you get knocked down even deeper. You just get knocked down. You got to figure out where you are and keep going.
You know what pivoting reminds me of? The crazy scientist who like mixes two substances together and then it blows up and then his face is all full of charcoal and his hair standing on end. And then he's like, okay, that doesn't work. And then he's trying to find out the solution to what does work, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. So pivoting is, what did you say, Sarah? We were talking this morning. You said somebody said this is going to be the year of pivoting.
Dean Graziello, I think his
Yeah.
name is. He
Yeah.
says this is the year of pivot. And there's a man that I follow on Instagram. Let me see if I can find who he is. I was following him today and he was being interviewed by him. And he said last year he had a theme for his year, which I thought was awesome. And I'm totally taking into this into my new way of thinking for having themes for a year. And he said, last year, my theme was compassion. So everything I did was out of compassion. He says, this year, my theme is pivot. And Dean's like, yes, because this is the year of the pivot. Everybody's pivoting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
That's
like,
so
that's
powerful.
so powerful. I'm going to try to find his name here if I can catch who he is.
Yeah. So the year of pivoting is just really analyzing where you're at, thinking about where it is you want to go, dreaming that big picture that we talk about constant, and just moving towards it. Right? Nobody's path is ever perfect.
Nope.
And in a roundabout way, what the fuck is perfect?
And really, if you're on a road trip and you're driving through the mountains, isn't it more beautiful when you're going through the peaks and valleys?
Yeah. Taking the scenic route.
Yeah.
So good. But then there is a highway that you can hop on to get there, right?
Yeah.
There's so many ways to get to where it is you're going.
Let me tell you though how boring that straight road is. So when I drive, I can't find who he is. I'll find him next episode. When I drive from PEI to Ontario, there's probably about 10 hours of just straight road with no billboards, nothing to look at, and it is exhausting. Like your eyes just are bored because there's nothing to look at because you're just looking at a straight road. But when you're driving, I love driving through Quebec because you get to see the mountains and we drive through a mountain too. So it's like curvy and it's exciting and you get to see things and that's the exciting part.
Oh, that is exciting. And that's what it is here, eh? I remember going to college when I went to college, and like the ride home I was like trying to keep myself awake because it was so boring.
Yeah.
Even, and you know what, thinking back now, thinking about that and like what I went to college for, at the time I was excited, but thinking about it now, I really wasn't, because when I left school I just wanted to leave. I did it to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about that now, like it just I literally just clicked in my mind. And on the way home, I wasn't fired up about what I was doing in life. I wasn't fired up about what I just learned in class. I was trying to keep myself awake because I was so goddamn bored.
Yeah. Oh
Really?
yeah. There's a couple of times I fell asleep in class too. There was some exciting classes, but honestly, college for me was just a big, expensive party.
Yeah, really.
Elon
So
Musk, you should go check out his Instagram story or his reels. He did a really good segment on college.
I was watching that, I think, the other day.
Yeah.
Maybe you sent it to me or I seen it on my timeline, but I seen that. It was it's college is just a party.
Yeah. Like because everything that you want to learn, you can learn online. But here we're getting away from pivot. So I want to talk about pivoting for a second. There are so many companies and it's a mindset. It is a full-blown mindset because some of these companies are mom and pop shops that have been around for a long time and they just don't understand the idea of moving online. But the beautiful thing is there's people out there that you can hire to help you pivot to the online space. There's also people out there who just want to get paid. They just want to go to work, get paid, come home. They have no ambition. They don't want to do anything else with their life. They just want to collect a paycheck and go home, sit on the couch, watch TV, have a couple beers, and live life like that. Hey, if it makes you happy, give her. But then there's people out there who are insanely ambitious. And one comes to mind, and I see them on TikTok. It is a company. I don't know what the name is, but they pick up obese dogs. They have a van, and they have treadmills in the back of this van, and they drive around with the dogs, just exercise in the back of this van. Like, come on. There's people out there creating their own economies. Okay? There's kids out there picking up dog shit, making more money than you are right now because you're too lazy to go out and try to figure something out on your own or to ask for help.
Right? It's
Yeah.
so true. There's always a way to do what it is you want. So if you're on the path right now where you're really wanting something and just nothing's working, nothing at all is working and you can't figure it out, pivot.
And I got this question today. Is the market too saturated? No. There's 2.85 billion people active users on Facebook every single month. That's just Facebook. Okay? There's billions of people on the planet. No, the markets are not too saturated. What you have to offer, people are looking for.
Mm-hmm. And even though, say you're in health and wellness, it's a $1 billion industry, right? Yeah. Health and wellness is a $1 billion industry. So you might have the thought process that, why do I need to get into that? There's millions of people already doing it. That tells you it's needed if there's that many people doing it.
Exactly. Who was it that said? Kelly Roach. She said, if there's competition, that's what you want because you know there's a need for what you have to offer.
Yeah, I think that's where I heard that.
Yeah, if there's no competition, then nobody needs what you have right now. So if you're trying to reinvent the wheel and you're trying to create something that nobody's ever heard of before, it's going to take you longer. I'm not saying don't do it. Like, go do it, give her. It's just going to take you longer because nobody knows what it is that you're doing or if there's even a need for it. So it'll take you longer to get it out there. But if you're doing something like a fitness instructor, yoga instructor, health coach, a makeup line, people are buying that. There's a need for it.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, the people that are going to buy from you is the people that resonate with you and they want to buy it from you because that's what they resonate with, not necessarily the product. Because let's face it, all makeup's the same, just has a different name on it.
Exactly.
Right? All fitness and health is the same. It's just the person training you doing it.
Yep.
Right? So there's always a way. If whatever you're doing right now isn't working, just pivot. And it doesn't have to be when you think of pivoting from what you're currently doing, don't think of it in a lack mentality where you're thinking, if I pivot, I'm starting over or I have to start something new. It's not that at all. It's just changing the direction that you're going to continue down the path to where it is you want to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. We're always pivoting, right? Like ballerinas.
That's right. Every time your foot lands, it's in a new direction.
Exactly. Just like walking.
Yeah. So good.
Awesome.
Well, make sure you tune in on Thursday because we are going to be talking about some real exciting news happening, and we will see you there then.
Yep. If you're looking to pivot or you're a coach and consultant looking to grow your business, you're going to want to hear this.
Yeah, it's so good.
Awesome. All right, Kaily, we'll chat with you then.
All right. Have an amazing week.
Bye.